Welcome to Office Essentials. In the next few minutes, we'll look at advanced threat protection capabilities in Office 365 that help you catch threats before they disrupt your business, keeping your data, intellectual property, and users safe from email phishing attacks and zero-day malware. Now, we all use email. It's one of the most pervasive and powerful forms of communication and collaboration, but it's also the most prolific attack vector that we see today. Now, that can serve as a Trojan horse for attackers to target and compromise your users by phishing their credentials or weaponizing content in order to penetrate your organization. Now, sometimes these attacks are blatant, such as in the case of ransomware. Other times, the danger is that they remain undetected, allowing assailants to, once in, silently move laterally inside of your network to breach your data and potentially steal intellectual property. Additionally, the increasing sophistication of these attacks can quickly outdate the protections that you may have put in place, leaving you unprotected from rapidly evolving new and unknown threats. Our approach with advanced threat protection in Office 365 is to give you built-in, proactive protections that even extend to your collaboration services and email to mitigate malicious content, as well as intelligent and continuous evolving threat detection so that you can stay ahead of new and emerging threats, and the ability to review activities gathered in real time to remediate and respond to threats, along with controls that you set to harden your environment and educate your users on phishing campaigns. So let me break this down by starting with the core of all prevention, detection. Now, we invest at least $1 billion in this area annually, and our security teams span thousands of cybersecurity experts globally to serve as a virtual extension of your internal security teams. They operate under assumed breach to determine known and unknown attack vectors, utilizing signal intelligence from the Microsoft Intelligence Security Graph and machine learning for detection and response. To put this into perspective, the Security Graph collects and analyzes an estimated 6.5 trillion signals per day from user logins across services, device endpoints, email messages and documents, Microsoft and non-Microsoft cloud apps, in addition to our Azure public cloud infrastructure. There are big advantages to this scale. It gives us greater depth and breadth into the threat landscape ahead of other email protection solutions. Now, exploits detected at any point in the chain are made known across Microsoft services universally, including, in this case, email, to enhance our vulnerability detection and protection capabilities really across the stack. And with such a huge volume of signal, our email threat detection engines also reduce false positives by continually determining the unique signals of new threats and training our machine learning algorithms. Our average malware catch rate for Office 365 email today is the highest in the industry, and we have the lowest miss rate of phish emails for Office 365. Of course, detection goes hand in hand with protection to be able to both catch attacks and stop them in their tracks. We take a pragmatic, layered defense in depth approach, analyzing and protecting against threats from the point at which the email is received by Office 365 to when it's delivered and beyond. Now, this starts first by determining where the email is coming from, or the source. Then who the mail sender is, what's inside that could be compromising, and once delivered, what post-delivery protections need to be put in place. And at any point, we help you to review in real time what's going on and respond to threats. Around 25% of all malicious messages received are blocked at the edge. Now, if the email is in our known list of bad domains, we'll block it. Equally, we look at the reputation of IP addresses. Microsoft keeps a constantly updated block list of millions of IPs, and if the source is a known perpetrator of malicious messages, we'll block that as well. Additionally, we run machine learning models that further analyze the connection for suspicious patterns, blocking email traffic as necessary. The next area of scrutiny is to check that the sender really is who they appear to be by checking the authenticity of the source to prevent against spoofing, another common phishing technique. Now, while there are many standards with frameworks like SPF, DKIM, and DMARC to help with domain authentication, not everyone sets this up. In the case of internal domain spoofing, where emails are sent between domains that your organization owns, our anti-spoof technology will validate the origin of a message to make sure that the message truly originated in your organization. And in the case of external domains, within or outside of the Office 365 ecosystem, our spoof intelligence again first checks to see if the domain has been set up according to standards, and if it doesn't, it will observe and learn message sending patterns from the domain to be able to identify when a message has been spoofed. As an admin, you can access spoof intelligence under the anti-spam policy report to monitor suspected spoofing activity and influence the filter by forming an approved list of legitimate internal and external domains for your organization. Now, understanding who really is the sender also prevents targeted spear phishing attacks using impersonation. These emails look like they come from someone or something that you know or trust. Now, the premise is that you're more likely to trust an email from someone of importance or a brand entity that you know. Anti-phishing policies in Office 365 detect these types of impersonation attacks and allow administrators to take appropriate actions on messages. Also, mailbox intelligence in Office 365 uses a machine learning model around your users, forming a contact graph of whom they're normally in contact with, and this provides us a strong signal to decipher against anomalous and good behavior. It can also detect impersonation attempts of specific brands. And to prevent false positives, you're also able to allow legitimate impersonation where, for example, an exec might have an admin responding on their behalf. Next, to determine if what's inside the message is good or bad, we utilize a number of standard antivirus and anti-malware engines to detect malicious content. And we combine that with our advanced safe attachments and safe links capabilities. Now, these capabilities open the attachment or link in a sandbox environment where the content is meticulously analyzed by our machine learning models that check for malicious signals and apply deep link inspection. This allows for zero-day malicious attachments and links to be detected. Each month, we detonate around 1 billion items in our sandbox, and the telemetry feeds back into the Microsoft Intelligent Security Graph to help our machine learning stay current with new and emerging techniques. Even if the message passes through detonation, the content is further analyzed by multiple machine learning models that examine the full message, looking for suspicious elements, and we take actions based on what you've configured as policy. Now, once an email is delivered, threats can continue. Sophisticated attackers will plan to ensure links pass through the first round of security filters by making the links benign, only to weaponize them once the message is delivered, meaning that the destination of that link is altered later to point to a malicious site. Time is important when thwarting this type of attack. 20% of all clicks happen within just 5 minutes of when an email is received, and with safe links, we're able to protect users right at the point of click by checking the link for reputation and triggering detonation if necessary. Now, this protection also extends to internal-only emails where, unlike other solutions, we're able to scan and isolate threats without routing these emails outside of Office 365. Also, with native link rendering, users are made aware of the site that they're going to be directed to as they hover over the link. Beyond that, the service will continue to scan email content for multiple days, leveraging new intelligence to move newly discovered malware or phish by design to the junk folder through a capability called zero-hour auto purge that zaps malicious content even after it's landed into a user's inbox. Also, if malicious files or links are uploaded to SharePoint or OneDrive and shared, even via Microsoft Teams, our protection layers will detect it and block it, containing the threat by preventing the file from being opened or shared in the future. And by enabling the report message capability in your tenant, users can self-report any email that appears suspicious for validation by Microsoft and your security teams. Now, as a security team, we'll give you real-time reports to allow you to see emails within your organization and how they were handled by Office 365. This includes messages flagged by users as potential threats. Office 365 will additionally proactively surface insights and recommendations, which you can then use to determine what additional policies and protections you need to consider within your environment. As you determine your response, all policies are located in the Security Center. Here, for example, you can set your phishing policy and impersonation settings. And you can also dive deeper into investigate or determine patterns. For example, under threat management, you can drill in to see the top malware types and the top targeted users. Now, if files get quarantined, you can go in and review those and see those messages and see how often they were sent. You can also look at detonations, set a date range, and get details on the nature of the threat and why it was detected. In Threat Explorer, malicious emails can be quickly identified with options to filter on sender, recipient, subject, or other metadata in the message. Filtering on sender helps you see all the mails that were sent from a unique sender address used for a phishing campaign. You can then investigate these emails further and take actions, for example, purging a malicious email campaign entirely from all mailboxes in your organization at once. Investigation into an incident can also be separately delegated to your security investigation team, leaving it to your security admins to take final actions. Also, because we know that there are common security issues that you'll want to check over time, whether that's reviewing your events, getting alerts, or determining threat trends, the Threat Tracker and our Threat Intelligence service enables ongoing supervision of your security tasks. So that was a quick overview of how Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection prevents and helps you to respond to advanced threats from email phishing attacks and zero-day malware before they disrupt your business. We also help you to broadly educate your users and augment your internal penetration testing capabilities by simulating phishing attacks in your organization to raise awareness on what to look for in a phishing campaign. And of course, there are also other measures that you can put in place to protect your user identities. 82% of all security breaches occur due to stolen passwords, and we estimate that just by enabling multi-factor authentication in your organization, you can reduce the risk of attacks by up to 99.99%. To learn more and to try out Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection capabilities for yourself, please visit the link shown, and thanks for watching.